Jai Gurudev, Day 14, Observance of Panchshila in Daily Life. Several kinds of Panchshila incorporated within the 5 offerings of Balivesh. Members of the family should be explained their significance so that they may have knowledge about the 5 sacred duties linked with various aspects of human life, which itself is lifelong yajna. Panchshil for physical well-being are sattvic and limited food, adequate use of water, deep breathing in open air, honest labor, and carefree rest at night. Panchshil for well-being of mental health are sportsman spirit, sense of humor, self-control, sanctity of work, and self-contentment and enthusiasm. Social Panchshil are honesty, honest and sincere discharge of responsibilities as a citizen, gentle, polite and sweet behavior, credibility and willing and glad cooperation. Family Panchshil are feeling of cooperation, gratefulness and service towards elders. Affection for and cooperation with youngsters. Open-hearted love between the spouses, nobility of character as true prosperity, and to have minimum number of children. Religious Panchshila, unity, equality, coexistence, tolerance, deep devotion from the divine. Spiritual Panchshila, unflinching faith in divine law of sowing and reaping, self-reliance, living simple life of an average citizen, and utilizing the balance of resources for philanthropic purposes, keen aspiration for Jivan Sadhana, and loving kindness towards all creations. All these Panchshils and duties should be duly discussed and evaluated so that the members of the family could understand the significance of Balivesh towards achieving inner refinement while functioning in the work in life. Gayatri Gita. The mantra of Ved Mata Gayatri, consisting of 24 letters, is very small, but it contains an ocean of infinite knowledge. The knowledge underlying it is so profound and encompassing that if a person understands it properly and brings it into practice, he can make his present as well as future life truly happy and peaceful. The message of Gayatri is most meaningful both from spiritual as well as material point of view. If it is well understood and contemplated upon, it manifests itself as a source of perennial fountain of true wisdom. The meaning of Gayatri Mantra in brief is given below in the form of Gayatri Gita. Om is the best, holiest, sacred, worth meditating upon and highest name of God, whom the Vedas have described as just impartial, formless, Sachidanand Sarveshwar, the blissful master spirit of the universe. Explanation. The path of God realization means adherence to divine laws. He remains unaffected by censure or praise. Man suffers pain or gets pleasure according to his own deeds. Considering God to be all-prevailing, there is no question of committing sins secretly. Human service is a service of God. Presence of God should always be felt within one's own self. It purifies the soul and the person's experiences Sat Chitan Anand. Meaning, Munis call Pran as Bhuha. It indwells uniformly on all the living beings. This proves that all living beings are alike. Man should therefore consider all human beings and other living beings like himself. Like one's own self, everybody undergoes pain and suffering, so no one should be tortured. We should behave towards others as we would like to be behaved by them. None should be discriminated against on account of caste, creed, family, community, country, or sex. Only good and bad acts need to be appreciated or depreciated. The elimination of all sufferings in the body is known as bhuva in the world. All work should be done with a sense of duty. People who work without expectations of any reward in return remain happy. Man's duty is only to work. The rest results with God. Instead of thinking that happiness lies in getting a person's outcome, one should think that the honest discharge of one's duty is the source of all happiness. One who regards a duty well done as his only reward becomes a karma yogi and he always remains happy. A person should always remain engrossed in doing good deeds. This is the sum and substance of Gita Karma Yoga. Meaning, the word Swaha signifies steadiness of one's mind. Mind should be always steady and calm. A person should remain engrossed in seeking of truth and exercise control to attain 3 kinds of peace. Explanation. Confronted with certain circumstances, man often becomes restless on account of sorrow, suffering, anger, malice, poverty, disappointment, worry, fear, etc. And thus loses his mental equilibrium. On the other hand, in favorable circumstances, he gets purified, puffed up with ego, arrogance, impertinence, assumes an air of self exaltation, squanders money, and starts behaving quite erratically. Both these mental states are like intoxication or fever, which blurs far sighted wisdom, vitiating a person's actions and thoughts. To save the inner soul from these devastating storms, man's mind should be made steady, balanced, and harmonious. Then alone he gets physical, mental, and spiritual peace. The word Tat indicates that he is alone, is wise and free of fear and attachment in this world, who understands the mystery of life and death. All creatures are always in the jaws of death. What is the certainty that we may not stop breathing the next moment? Thinking in this manner, human life, which is rarely available even to gods, should be utilized in the pursuit of self-knowledge. It should be pondered over whether in this short life it is worthwhile to invite suffering for a long time by committing sins for momentary pleasures of the senses. If noble pursuits like advancement of knowledge, social welfare, religion, preaching are to be done, one must have a wider perspective in view. The life is immortal and we are spiritual beings living a human experience through a mortal body. If the work cannot be completed with this body, it will be done in the next one. It is certain that a person who makes best use of this present life enjoys bliss even after death. But the future of a person who misuses the present moments of his life is dark indeed. Therefore, one should not repent for all that has happened and should start making the best possible use of the remaining life. The word Savita suggests that the man should be strong like the sun and believe that all the objects and experiences of life relate to one's own soul. The sun has been called Virya and earth as Raj. The world functions on account of power of the sun. The soul's own actions create various kinds of circumstances. Destiny, fate, etc. are also the results of one's past action. So we should adapt ourselves according to circumstances. It is within man's power to make his own destiny. More attention should therefore be paid to self-growth. A person needs external help according to his inner condition. Man should be far-sighted, strong and industrious. He should try to equip himself with 8 kinds of strength, that is health, knowledge, wealth, efficiency, organization, fame, courage and truth, and can remain steadfast in this faith. The word Varanium indicates that every man should always strive for greatness and excellence. Man attains excellence by seeing, contemplating, thinking about and doing excellent deeds. Explanation: a man is as he thinks. Thought is a mold and life wet clay. Our life is molded according to our thoughts in which we are engrossed. We should therefore cultivate the company of noble persons, read ennobling literature, entertain uplifting thoughts, see soul elevating scenes, and do noble works if we want to become great. To maintain faith and excellence, to pay due regard to and imbibe excellence which is found in other persons are matters essential for those who aspire for moral, ethical, and spiritual excellence. The word Bhargo suggests that man should become sinless. He should be on his guard to avoid sins. He should abhor sins and struggle hard to eliminate them, keeping in view their evil results. All the suffering in the world is due to sins. People are found suffering from innumerable pains and agonies in hospitals, jails, and other places on account of their pain and past sins. A sinner suffers in hell. Saints and benevolent persons take the burden of sins committed by them on their own shoulders and reform them through voluntary suffering for the sin of others. Whosoever may suffer, it is certain that sufferings are due to sins. Therefore, those who are afraid of sorrow and aspire for happiness should try to shun sin and atone for sins committed in the past. It is the sacred task to remain alert against sins and to struggle hard to destroy them, because by doing so, we not only make ourselves truly happy but also save others from happiness. True happiness lies in sinlessness. The word Devasya signifies that the man who is physically mortal can attain immortality or divinity. A man creates heaven within himself, as well as by cultivating godlike qualities, by serving all living beings, by doing benevolent deeds, and by extending help to the weak. Whatever exists in this divine creation is sacred and blissful. To have a view of this word as God's creation, to remove perversities created by men, and to promote growth of goodness in divine word. A man can become godlike by having such an enlightened vision. A person who does not consider himself to be mere mortal physical body but knows that he is a deathless soul attains immortality. He gets rid of fear of death, to treat all living beings with love as one's own self, to keep one's conduct and character pure, and to utilize one's talent for uplifting the pure and downtrodden or godly deeds. This earth becomes blissful as heaven for those who have these views. Dhimahi implies that we should cultivate and activate within us dormant divine energies. Vedas proclaim that without so a man cannot attain peace. There are several material powers in the world. People get prosperity and praise on the strength of wealth, position, political power, physical strength, organization, arms, knowledge, wisdom, efficiency, etc. But all are temporary powers. They may give pleasures, but such pleasures are all transient. Lasting happiness lies in cultivating spiritual virtues, which are known as divine powers or divine health. Happiness attained by divine virtues like fearlessness, far-sightedness, wisdom, steadiness, generosity, self-restraint, benevolence, scriptural scholarship, devout austerity, compassion, truth, non-violence, politeness, patience, love, cannot be compared with any amount of material affluence. Man should therefore constantly endeavor to increase his store of divine affluence. Dhiyo indicates that the wise men should ponder profoundly and make an in-depth study of Ved Shastras and extract their essence like butter from milk, because truth can be only by purified intellect. There are numerous ideologies, most of which are contradictory to each other. Principles underlying one Shastra are quite opposite to the propounded by others. The thoughts of different rishis, learned persons, are therefore not similar. Under these circumstances, one should not become confused. A thing which was once correct according to time, space, and person and circumstances may not be correct in different circumstances. Clothes which are useful in winter become useless in summer. In the same way, a thing which is appropriate in certain particular circumstances may become inappropriate in changed circumstances. We should not therefore blame learned persons, rishis, munis, and shastras, but accept only such of their teachings and thoughts which are appropriate in the present circumstances. A decision about right and wrong should therefore be made on the basis of logic, wisdom, and justice, keeping in view the present circumstances. The word Yamaha means that we should utilize minimum of our talents and resources for our own use and utilize the rest of selflessness for the benefit of the weak and the needy. God has given knowledge, strength, and prosperity to us in trust, so that we may earn the degrees of getting respect, fame, happiness, and results of righteous deeds. All our wealthful possessions should be utilized more and more for the good of others, especially in helping the poor. These must not be squandered away for luxury and comfort, sensual enjoyments, nor should they be accumulated for ego satisfaction. The glory of persons who are learned, strong, and rich lies in trying to uplift the innocent, weak, and poor people, just as the power and potentialities of trees, wells, pools, parks, flower, fire, water, electricity are utilized in doing good to others, so also we should offer all our talents and resources for the common good, keeping back just enough for leading a modestly simple life. Prachodayat means that a man should inspire himself and others to follow the path of truth. Learned people call such work as true righteousness. Inspiration is the greatest power in the world, without which all resources, howsoever vast they may be, are useless. An inspired person gets engrossed in his chosen work and is able to gather and harness all the resources required. He gets divine help and also ideal collaborators. Therefore, a man should first get himself inspired and then inspire others to march ahead on the path of righteousness. The real help of the poor and the needy lies not in giving them material gifts, but in inspiring them to awaken their dormant talents and virtues, to inspire them to help themselves through self-growth and service.